Good afternoon. This is Veterans Talk. It ain't nothing but a thing. But it's a thing we want you to tune into every Saturday afternoon. I'm here doing the same thing we've been trying to do ever since we started the show. Make sense out of a sensitive situation called the plight of veterans in the USA, and the USA with the plight of veterans. I'm here, Elsa McGee, your host, and my co-host and partner in crime, Tony. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
Man, this been a crazy week. I mean, it been a week where we have watched media, local media, advocate for putting some people over the rule of law because of a status that they hold in society. I'm concerned with the democracy that I serve for, that I came to the U.S. military and raised my hand and pledged allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, individual with liberty and justice for all. Tony, what happened to that?
Oh, people don't believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we have a situation where we have a privileged class in this country. And we know what that privileged class is, and it's all based on the color of their skin. And as a result, a majority of the country, which is not of that race, are considered the underclass. Yet we are the people that make this system work. And unfortunately, we got a lot of people that are refusing to, or no, I won't say refusing, choosing not to. They're choosing not to follow what you just said, which is the Pledge of Allegiance to this country.
Listen, Tony, if I could just see government on every level functioning the way you function in the U.S. Air Force.
Yeah.
If I can see that, then I know that this Pledge Allegiance could be realized. I'm afraid now that it's not going to be realized because veterans have, kind of went soft on it. We ain't got to do it every day, so we just don't think about it. We look at all this stuff happening around us. We go to meetings where the city got $25 million for homelessness, and people are still homeless right down from the Capitol.
Yeah.
And I see the VA, with $309 billion are trying to get back money that they mistakenly paid to veterans and veterans' families, right? That they would do. But the calculation of it, the offsetting of one register with another register, the employees was too lazy to do it.
Yeah.
Now they want these people to give this money back. Come on in, Cassandra. Now they want these folks to give this money back, and give the money back, and not take responsibility for the error that was made there for them.
Exactly.
See, that upsets people's household budgets. It might disable them from paying their bills, all because a government employee made a mistake, and now 56,000 veterans and their families got to pay back what the VA called overpayment. Now, the sad part about this, anybody can make a mistake.
Exactly.
But, when the government is so constructed that you are able to make a mistake and not take responsibility for it.
It has always been a situation when, and I was involved in one, where somebody made an erroneous deposit into my account. Mm-hmm. And so when I reported it, it's like, okay, you're not responsible. They're responsible for that. And so as a result, it was free money to me. Mm-hmm. I did not have to pay that. I didn't have to give it back. It's like when someone orders a package, mm-hmm. and they deliver it to your house. Mm-hmm. You didn't order the package. You are not responsible for returning that package to whoever it came. It's delivered to you. It's now yours, free to do with whatever you want. And the government should operate on the same
On the
status.
same status. What we got in our governments, and we have gotten people, and they come through the elected way we cast our vote. Because, we cast our votes for somebody we don't vet, and they go in there, they got their own agenda. Their agenda is not to work for the people of the country, or the city, or the county, or the state, wherever they are elected to serve. See, that you was in the Air Force. Now you wasn't gonna come over in the Army unless you was sent there, but they can send you there.
No.
With the right paperwork, they could TDY you to the Army.
Exactly.
But that is a process.
Yes.
And whoever do the process took responsibility for it.
Yes.
In our government, especially the VA right now, they are not held accountable for the mistakes that they make. And these are life-altering mistakes. These mistakes come through veterans claims, which is the bread. That's the way you buy groceries.
Right.
If you're disabled. If you're disabled and you was disabled by your military service, the government has a contract with you that they're gonna take care of you and your dependents.
Exactly.
And when they doing that, it's a big system. It's the biggest system, healthcare system in the country. We know that they got problems. But what the biggest problem is Congress is not funding the VA to operate. They're not funding it. So what they're doing, they're getting people that are incompetent, and they're not training them to become competent.
Yeah.
And rather than supervisors calling this out, they overwork the competence, that people that they got. So there's another article about the VA in the news. They're saying that the claim system is overwhelmed, and they want to blame that PAC Act for it. And they're not having enough employees. So what they are doing, just denying some cases just to get them out the way.
And that's not fair to the veterans or their families.
Listen, that's a breach of contract.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
See, I've been watching all this stuff. I'm sitting in the house more than I ever sit. I'm on this walker, so I'm watching more news and more TV than I ever watch. And I'm concerned about the way TV is trying to help develop a certain narrative for the minority in this country. Where he's the president, so he don't approach Fulton County Jail to be booked in like everybody else. Okay, well we know that's a cumbersome process. It's ugly because people dying over there.
Yeah.
So they are.
Yep,
People
yes,
are dying.
yeah, yeah.
They shouldn't even be in jail. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, that's another show.
And you know what? It's all connected to us veterans. Because see, what we done, we know how government's supposed to work. When we get out of the military, we I done did mine. I look back. I got a good discharge. So I'm not stigmatizing the community. Now, but a few weeks or months after I get back out of the military, I found out that I got some kind of lung disease or some kind of illness that won't let me work.
Right.
I can't work now. I can't take care of my family.
That you didn't have when you went in the military.
Didn't have when I went in the military.
Yes.
The system of the VA is set up to where they should recognize that, because it's set up to do that. But the people in the process is not following the process. They're not doing their pledges allegiance to the flag. We got to be able to understand. Come on. We got to be able to understand what we. Yeah, come on.
You're good.
Yeah, we're good. You got to be able to understand what we are up against with the plight of veterans. See, a lot of times people don't know because we don't tell them. We're not communicative. We're not communicating. When I was pastoring, one of the things I hate to look at my cell phone and see a funeral home calling me. What was happening? The funeral home was calling me to see whether this veteran, we got a veteran's body over here. They don't know whether he got any insurance. He's a veteran. What do the VA do for him? Family don't know.
Yeah.
But they got a whole system set up there online that'll tell you you can actually pre-plan your final expenses. But see, what they're doing, they throw you to the dog because it's a money-making industry as well. So they don't tell you your benefits, so you're not getting them. When actually 100% veteran not only get benefits for him, his surviving spouse get benefits.
Yes.
Same benefit, burial benefits, income every month, right?
Yes.
Health care. All of these things are denied when you don't get the benefits that you earn. So the plight of veterans is locked in the way we vote. I'm going to just say that. I'm calling all veterans out on every level, every race, every ethnic group, everybody that pledges allegiance to the flag. Look in the mirror. Take a look in the mirror. Face yourself. And you can't see that our lack of participation in this country in a way that our voice should be heard by government. We got automatic weapons in the streets of every community in this country that look like me.
Exactly.
They done flooded the community with weapons. And where you got lack, you're going to have crime. And where you got crime, you're going to have traumatizations. You're going to have mental illnesses. Listen, most of the children in some communities in our country right now are traumatized before they start school, before they even get to school. But our laid backness and not talking about the trauma that we faced in war and in military, it make people think that it ain't real. It ain't real. Yeah. But look at the community now. Tony, we are from the same general area. We're from the ATL, College Park, East Point, all that, Atlanta. We're from this. We came up in the same streets of Atlanta that we hear all these gunfires.
Exactly.
Why it wasn't like that when we was coming up?
It was part of the fact that we had respect for our common man. We didn't fear our common man. We were taught respect. I'm gonna go back to one of my old topics. We have a real challenge today of children raising children. When we were growing up, we had older parents, we had grandparents, we had aunts and uncles, and plus we had community. Back then, there was a challenge with segregated neighborhoods, but there was a benefit to segregated neighborhoods because within our segregated neighborhoods, all of the families that we were associated with and members of generally lived in that neighborhood. Yeah. And if they weren't family, they were neighbors. We remember when we grew up, it were front porches. And there was always somebody's mother, aunt, sister, brother sitting on the front porch watching what's going on in the neighborhood. And so we were always observed, and we knew we were observed, so we didn't even think of the possibility of doing something that would bring shame on our family. It's one of those things where we were proud to be a member of the community and I'm proud to be a member of the family, and so we acted that way.
And I'm going to tell you what you hit on the family, the community. And you know what, I go back to sometime, look at my mom and my dad was always concerned about what I saw and what I heard.
Yes.
The music that they play in our homes today is so disrespectful. It cuts into the reality that mothers are not able to raise their children in a way that they will have a long and prosperous life.
Exactly.
They're not able to raise them because the music casts disrespect on the mother, the father, the rule of family.
Yep.
On the hypocrisy that they see, they play it up. So that makes a bunch of liars and cheaters in the community. Yep. It's right now, it's popular for some of these kids to go to jail.
Yes.
Where's mama?
Yeah, yes.
What's mama doing?
Yes. It's almost like a badge of courage.
Yeah.